Alright, it's New Year's Eve, gang, and I've decided I'm going to put together a little how to play solo football bones video. See a couple of each play, basically. So what we have here is we have the fact deck, which you'll see more in depth later. The field. No, if you download the free version, it does not say Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the kickoff table. We'll go through that in a moment. We have here the two-sided chart, which is modifiers and such forth. It's not nearly as complicated as it pretends to look. We'll go through that as needed. You'll need two 10-sided dice. We have Pittsburgh and Dallas are my chosen teams. That's the offenses. Flip it over. That's the defense. You'll understand all that in a moment. This is play calling tables. Penalty table. That's Dallas. On the flip side is Pittsburgh. So I'm going to walk you through a few plays. For whatever reason, this game, when it first came out a few years ago, it had a decent response. I was a little stunned, actually, it didn't get a better response, and it didn't have much of a follow-up. So I redesigned it, put it out as a free game, and had surprisingly few downloads. So I've had some people say they don't understand how to play, so I thought I'd put together a quick video and show you it's actually very simple to play. You'll have to pardon the rules. Sometimes they're written by an engineer, which means that sometimes we tend to talk and write a little too technical and can't get out of it. So I'm going to show you how to run a few plays. So one of the changes in the game was adding the fact deck. So you'll understand why in a moment, but it eliminates one die roll, one chart lookup. It also eliminates the six-sided die from the original game. And you'll see in a moment why the fact deck can be a good thing. I'm not a big fan, but people seem to like it. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to have Pittsburgh kick off to Dallas. So the kickoff table, there are three tables here. This is pre-1974 card set, 74 to 1993, and then 2012, and then 1994 to 2011. So we're actually kicking from this one here. So we roll the dice. Black for me is always tens, so 34. So a 34 is a 57-yard kick. So from the 35-yard line, that's the 8-yard line. I then look over here at the Dallas kick returner. You'll have to pardon the fact that I'm moving a small camera around. So what you see Lucky Whitehead, and it says 10s, 20s, 30s, long, fumble, and max. So I roll 75. That's in the 30s. So you pick up one of the dice, so it's 30 plus the 10-sided. A 0 being 0. So 34 yards from the 8, puts them out to the 42. First down. So I'll keep Dallas's offense side up, and Pittsburgh's will flip to the defensive side, and you'll see a little bit more of that in a moment. So you have a choice in this game. It's actually, I think it's a pretty cool way to do it, which is you can either have the game call both sides of the ball, you can call one side and have the game call the other. And it doesn't matter offense or defense how you do this. I tend to call the offense and have the game call the defense. So I'll do it both ways here in just a moment. The way this works is you find the down here, and this is numbered 1 to 5. So number 1, game situation, first down, 10 yards is G. It's always G to start first and 10. Okay, score differential, ahead, behind, field position, we're not in any of those, so that doesn't change anything. So we're going to use letter G. Now I'm going to call, I know that Dallas's offense last year was, Darren McFadden was the running attack, and you had a multitude of receivers. So for the sake of discussion, We're going to go ahead and pass. You have a choice of quick, short, and long. We're going to throw quick. Now, you'll notice over here, for all you fans of the game, that Matt Cassel is the starting quarterback. You'll notice that because he's an A. A B is Romo, and Kellen Moore was a B. That's based on number of pass attempts in a given season. So Cassel is your starter. The only way you can change this is if Cassel was already hurt and you had your choice of Moore or Romo, and Romo would be the choice. But in this case, it's Matt Cassel. So we're going to throw quick. So it's a letter G. So what we do is, okay, 98. Now, we need to figure out the defense. Okay, so which defense is it? So we look over here at number 4. Number 3 is offensive play call table. That's only if you want the game to call your offense. Otherwise, ignore the table. Since, like I said, I'm going to call my offense, at least for now. I tend to vary it a little bit during the game. I kind of randomly throw some offensive calls in there just to mix things up. So, we first of all figure out what defensive formation they're in. There's a base, which is either a 34 or 43. It's built into the team. The goal line, the nickel, or the dime. So we look at the roll, 98. That's really high. G. What really high tends to mean is it's going to be a nickel or a dime. So G, a dime, is 94 to 100. So you come over here, you look at Pittsburgh's setup. You can see every display is A to O. It's just like the old Status Pro. This is built on the old Status Pro model. So A to O, the 3x5 display. Okay, now we're going to see which call they have. So we roll again, a 48. Now they're in a dime. So we roll across, and PS. PS is pass. So they're in a pass. Okay, put that aside. Normally in my own setup I would have it laid out so I wouldn't have to be moving these things around as much. But for the sake of space and the video, I'm having it a tighter space than I would normally play in. Okay, so it is going to be a pass defense against the quick. Now, who's he throwing to? I didn't say. I should have said. So for the sake of discussion, I'm going to say Dez. Okay, quick to Dez. I would normally have said quick pass to Dez. Got a little too excited there. So come over here, flip a fat card. Okay, quick. It goes to the right end. As you can see, it says right end. Okay. So come over here to the receiving. The right end, you can see, is actually Cole Beasley. So you come across to Cole. Cole's a 1 rest rate. Doesn't really matter for the sake of this. He'll catch the quick on a 1 to 98. He'll break it on a 99. Breaking means he goes for more than 0 to 9 yards. There's also the short range there if he fumbles, and then the max that he would go if he broke it. So what happens? Okay, we come over here and we say pass against the quick. Okay, pass coverage. You'll see it says minus 20. In parentheses, it says minus 30. Now, the parentheses is inside the 20, so ignore it. So it's a minus 20 for that. Okay. There is a rest rate modifier. There's no rest rate. We're on the first play of the game, so that won't come into play. Okay. Dime coverage. Right end is covered by William Gay. Now these numbers are read as run defense, pass rush, pass defense, intercept. You'll see one single number for intercept. In this case it says 98. That might be a little hard to read there. I apologize. It's a 98 to 100. I just don't bother to put the 100 because it just takes up extra space. It says it right there on the bottom of the sheet if you forget. So he's a minus 1. So minus 20 minus 1 is a minus 21. Matt Castle completes the quick pass on a 71, incomplete on a 72, intercepted on a 97. So we roll. We roll a 27. It's complete. Hey, cool. All right, how far does he go? Well, does he break it? So first of all, we roll for Cole Beasley. It's an 89. Now, we had already looked. He was a 98 to catch the regular quick. So that's a 0 to 9 yards. So 9 yards. 3, 8, 9. 2nd and 1. Okay, that's a pass play. All right. Now, I'm going to force a run to occur here. I don't know if the defense is going to call, but we're going to look. All right, so I'm going to say it's going to be an inside right. And if you look at the line, you'll see the Cowboys line is a +4-3 to Tyron Smith, left tackle, +1-2 La'el Collins, left guard, +4-3 center Travis Frederick, +3-3 Zach Martin, right guard, +1-1 Doug Free. That's blocking value in pass blocking. So we're going to go inside right, which will be running between the center and guard. Okay? So inside right, with Darren McFadden, who's our 0 back. This is before Zeke, remember? Okay, so what does the defense call? We don't know yet. So the first thing we have to do is we have to say 2nd and 1. All right, 2nd and 1 is F. All right, now there's no change in this because we're not inside of our own 20 or their 20. We're not behind or ahead by 15 or by 8 or more points, whatever. So nothing will change there. So it's letter F. Okay, so again, we're not letting the game call the offense. We're calling it. So we come down here to the formation. 65, letter F. Okay, that's a base formation. For Pittsburgh, that's a 34. You'll see at the top, the very top formation is base. Okay. So if you wanted to imagine this, you can flip this so that it matches up like that. So the right tackle would be A, the right guard would be B, center versus C, left guard versus D, left tackle versus E. It's the way to imagine this is lining up. Okay, so we said inside right with the back 1. So what does the card say? Now, there are 2 ways to do this. Okay. Oh, I did it again. I hate making videos. All right. So, 22. I should have gone straight to this. I don't believe I did this. All right. Base defense. See, a run key is 1 to 31. I rolled a 22. So it's pretty obvious in NFL teams of this era today who the back is. So, I mean, these guys are not stupid. You're not going to run key the wrong guy. So obviously it's Darren McFadden. So they're going to run key Darren McFadden. They know he's running the ball. So we come over here and we say, okay, well, inside right, back versus H, that's the blocking battle. So who's the back? Okay, well, you look over here at backs 2 and 3. Whoever's not running the ball is considered the back. So the blocking value, -1, -1. So that's -2. Okay, if you have 3 backs in. Generally, you have 2 backs in. Nobody's home. Phone, of course, rings. It's somebody from the house. All right, so we have a -1, okay, for the blocker not known as Robert Turbin. All right, so back versus H. Base defense. Pittsburgh has nobody in H. Nobody in H is 0. Okay, so 0 -1. There's no one home, so the back actually wins the battle because there's nobody home. Okay, so run defense, correct key is -4 for the run number, which is actually yards. Okay, so we know he's going to get -4 yards, but we don't know what else, if anything. So, a 90. So Darren McFadden runs normal, 1 to 79. Short gain, 80 to 98. He breaks it on 99. Okay, now in this case, it's a short gain because you rolled a 90. So you add these two dice together, the 0 being 0. So 16 yards minus the 4 for the modifier is 12 yards. So it's 1st and 10 at the 36. Okay, now I'm going to salt the deck on purpose. I didn't bother to really shuffle or do anything real special with this. So we're going to salt it to force a couple of occurrences here. Oh, actually, I tell you what, I'm just going to show you some. Alright, so Z plays, people who are familiar with Status Pro will understand what a Z play is. A Z play is an odd, rare play. It's either a fumble, an injury, or a penalty. In this game, you have a card that will tell you what it is. Fumble, penalty defense, penalty offense, injury. If it's a penalty, you would complete the play. Okay, now for the sake of argument, we'll say it's a penalty defense. Again, sake of argument, it's Pittsburgh will be on defense. So this chart is pretty straightforward. If on offense, if on defense, if on special teams, and the play type. So we're going to say that it was a quick pass. Okay, so you'll see short and long passes are 2, and then the special teams. So it's a 1. Okay, if on defense, you're looking at this column. So you roll the dice, 43. You look under 43, pass interference. Okay, now it's possible it was a run play, which means you just ignore it. Okay, it's going to happen sometimes. Not very often, but once in a while you'll come across some funny ones like that that'll just be ignored. Okay, so a fumble occurs in one of two ways. Either you roll it, or it happens there. It happens there only on 3 cards, I think, is what it is. It's very rare. So what you would do for the fumble is you say, okay, fumble, it's a 50-50 roll. Pick high or low. The rules have you specify, but I always just go, high it's yours, low it's mine, or whatever. I don't get really too bent out of shape of the high lows and whatever. All right, you can see I got all kinds of fact deck cards here, and we'll show you a couple more of these in a minute. All right, so here's an injury one. So an injury one is pretty straightforward too. Go over here to the injury table. You roll the dice. You can see I rolled a 39. You say, 39, what's that? Right end. See, R-E, right end. That's an end. That's it. You'll see the offense and the defense spelled out by position on there. You'll note that I have the position and not the box because it's more specifically to the player. If you don't understand what LOLB is, for example, that's left outside linebacker, which in this case is box F. MLB is box H, the middle linebacker. RCB is the right corner, so that's box O, etc., etc. Okay? All right, so once you figured out if there's a player injured, then you would roll the dice, 68, and you'd say, he's hurt for the rest of the quarter. Okay, you can see where it goes all the way up to game plus injuries. And that has to do with the games played, which is on there. Okay, so that's an offense. That's a run and a pass. Okay, if you throw an interception, pretty straightforward again. You have to figure out how far downfield. The interception basically occurs off the quarterback's card. You'll see the int column. If you rolled in the int column, you then compare it to the deep back. If the int column, the interception column, for example, Castle's a 97 on a quick. If your guy is a 98, then a 97 would be incomplete. Okay, so if there's an interception, it's pretty straightforward. You're just rolling the die to tell you how far downfield, and then you're rolling a 10-sided to figure out how far you return it. Okay, we'll go through these just for a moment. A couple of fact cards. So you've got the sweep left play here, which is the left end versus F. Okay, right end versus J. B and G. That's when you get hit with the double defensive guy, and you would add the tackle values together. For example, base defense, B and G. For Pittsburgh, Cam Thomas is a -3.7, Ryan Shazier a -2. So the -3, -2, that's -5 yards. You're getting crushed there. Okay, D&I. The other side, for example, Latarius Walton a -1, Lawrence Timmons a 0. So -1. Not quite as bad. You got hit by 2 guys, but you didn't really get hit all that hard. Okay, on the bottom, it's going to have the quick, the short, and the long of who's getting the ball. If it says, like this one here, says Orig, that's the original receiver. Whoever you aimed at got the ball. This right here means out of bounds. That eliminates, this card eliminates the 6-sided die. So that's basically the game. I mean, it really is that straightforward. I did not keep, you notice I didn't keep track of time. It's basically 20-second and 40-second plays. I also didn't keep track of stats, but, that you can add that on easily enough. You can download the stat sheets and things from my website. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope some people pick it up. I think it's a decent game, for a solo version. Not a big fan of solo games because I frankly played Status Pro plus Football Bones for 30 years in a league face-to-face. So, yes, I'm jaded in that respect. So, enjoy your New Year's.